What's up, world? Y'all already know it's Miss NeNe Gemini, the host with the most, and a smile you can't forget. And today, I am here on the Digital Vibes mobile truck. We're gonna say truck. Well, van. First time ever recording the podcast here. Thank you to Mr. Will, Coach, for having us. We made it. We finally made it. Listen, shout out to everybody. I appreciate it. And happy Men's Mental Health Month. Happy Pride Month to everybody. And we are here with the one and only Mr. Donte Bates. But first, before I get into that, I want to do my statistics on mental health awareness. And if y'all don't know, I'm NeNe Gemini, the host with the most, and a smile you can't forget. I am a podcaster, event host, a professional hype woman, and a hustler, a mobile notary, a wedding officiant. I do it all. So if you need any of my services, make sure you hit me up. So today we're going to be talking about men's mental health. Well, this whole month we doing men's mental health awareness, where I'm talking to the men in the community that's doing things impactful here on NeNe's Damn Podcast. So let me give you some statistics on men's mental health statistics. About 78% of U.S. suicides involve men. Men face higher rates of substance use and overdose deaths. Men constitute 61% of the homeless population. Men are less likely to receive mental health services, leading to untreated mental health issues. Over 6 million men suffer from depression per year, but male depression often goes undiagnosed. More than 3 million men in the U.S. have panic disorder and other phobias. So listen, happy men's mental health. If you guys know anybody that's suffering through mental health issues, they can text the number 988 and somebody will help them with their mental health. But today, it's only right that I have executive director and co-founder of Love, Hope, and Healing Incorporated, Mr. Donte Bates. Listen, they won Community Assist Award, Community Champion, Youth Empowerment Award, Advocacy Award, Community Impact Award nominee, and they just finished their first summer youth camp last year, now going into year 2?
Yeah, actually it's year 4, but the overnight portion was first year.
Year 4, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Donte Bates, everybody.
Thank you.
How
Thank
are
you, NeNe.
you?
I'm doing fine, NeNe. Appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to it. I've been real excited about this, how I'm talking about men's mental health, because it's something that we don't normally talk about, but now we're getting some steam where we talk about it. So I appreciate you for having me.
Thank you. So, Mr. Donte, tell me, how were you as a kid?
As a kid, as the oldest child, I wasn't too much of a hothead, but I was one of them ones that actually just go with the flow and try to dismiss everything. I didn't like the drama. I didn't like conflict too much, because I know once I go to the other side of conflict, it's hard to come back. So I was one of them ones that was even keel, humble, and just like to live life and don't like all the chaos.
Nice. So were you always the kid that always liked to help people?
I'm a big family guy, and I love to help, and I don't like to see anybody taken advantage of. So I'm always that one that's trying to look out for the ones that's being taken advantage of. And that's always been my thing. I hate to see that. People shouldn't take advantage of people because they're less fortunate, or they may have a disability, or they don't have the correct clothing. They don't dress the way you think they should dress. Right. So I've always been an advocate for that. Just treat people how you want to be treated. That was my biggest thing.
And is that how you you and your wife created Love, Hope, and Healing?
We actually created that, and actually we came up with the idea of laying in the bed with COVID. She in one room, I'm in one room. It's like we always talked about actually doing it, how we could give back to the youth in the community,
right,
and try to strengthen our community, because a lot of people talk about it, but then they don't want to do anything about it. So we came up with the idea like, yeah, let's get a nonprofit. Let's do this so we could be official and try to do it. And I think a few weeks after we got over COVID, she come home and she was like, look, we're official. And I got right on the phone, started sending emails. Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And it just popped from there. And that's how our first summer camp started, because I'm a big fan of skilled trades. I believe they should be in school,
right,
because a lot of our kids are not going to go the traditional route of schooling.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to give them something else. So when they graduate, hey, you could get another skill. It's other things out here. So I went online on Palm Beach State College website, looked on everybody that got a title in the trades department, and I mass emailed them.
Wow.
And I think 3 weeks I didn't get a response back, but I don't give up. So I sent one morning, sitting at work like 6:45. By 7:15, I get a response back. Could we talk at 11? And spoke to the lady at 11. She was like, okay, now could you come in on Tuesday and we have an in-person meeting? I got there Tuesday and said what I had to say for 5 minutes, and they took over the conversation, and Love, Hope, and Healing was off and running since then.
Really?
Yeah, that's where we started at.
Wow. So it's been what, 5, 6 years?
July be 5. We'll be 5 years old in July.
Wow.
Time
So
flies.
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Because I know it's hard having a nonprofit and just like getting up and running.
Well, yeah, it's hard, especially working both of us work full time.
So y'all still have your main job?
No, we still have our main job, working 10-hour days.
Child, more power to you.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's just the impact we're making and the change we're making in these kids and the families in the community. It's all worth it. But I do need a vacation.
Okay, so since you're going on a vacation, where are you going to go?
Well, I love Jamaica, but
Okay.
this time I think we're going to try Costa Rica.
Costa Rica is nice. You got to be careful for the rainy days, the rainy season.
Oh, yeah, I look into that.
Yeah.
My
So-
wife loved the water, the beach.
So then you
that's
good.
why we'll be pretty much good on that.
You good. Okay. So you just had a recent event. Tell me about that event.
So that was our first annual inaugural Stop Throwing Rocks at the Chain Gang. And if anybody's not familiar with it, the metaphor for Stop Throwing Rocks at the Chain Gang, the rocks symbolize the crimes you're committing. The chain gang symbolize the consequences of those crimes, which is the prison system.
Right.
So that's why when you out in the community, out in the hood, and somebody say, young man, stop throwing rocks at the chain gang, we tell you stop committing these crimes, because that's where you're going to go. And unfortunately, I had to go. That's the price I had to pay for not wanting to listen and want to run the streets and sell drugs and things like that to try to get something that I really didn't. I look back on it, I really didn't need it. I could have did it the right way and still got the same things. So it sent me away to prison for 2 years. Went away in 2004, came home in 2006. And they can't get me to run a stop sign right now. So I refuse to go back, and that's the big push behind Love, Hope, and Healing, because I feel like I gave up my freedom for them 2 years to actually help the ones behind me. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't, like I tell people, I'm not proud of the fact that I went,
Right.
but I'm glad I did.
Right.
And I'm glad I did, because I don't think if I didn't, I don't know if I'd have changed. And that would have led to possibly more time
Right.
or either dead. You know what I'm saying? So I just take that as a blessing. Like it was God's way of saying, all right, go sit down and think about life and come back home. So since I've been back home, never had to run in with police, and I'm just trying to do what I can to help these kids stay off the streets. I'm tired of seeing these young folks on the news, or you hear about it in the streets. So that's where we're at now.
Thank you for that. So how did your experience in the prison system shape your perspective on mental health, and what drove you to find Love, Hope, and Healing?
Well, like I say, prison drove me to found Love, Hope, and Healing, because I wanted to get in the game of helping this youth out here.
Right.
Because it's a lot of stuff that the news don't hear about, and it's a lot of these young jitterbugs sitting out here that's doing some things that you hear about in the streets. And some of these, you got 13 to 17-year-olds riding around with guns and just looking to shoot people in the middle of the day when you should actually be in school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all should be at work if you ain't in school. But prison shaped the first 3 months I got to prison. When I pulled up, I remember, and I was like, oh shoot, this real. This actually real.
Right.
And then when you go through, and it's just like somebody telling you when to sleep, when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, you're going out working, because I was on community custody, so I was able to go out on with DOT out of Dade and work around Miami area, around the Dade County area. And it was just like you go out and you work, you slave, you come back home, well, not home, but you come back to prison, and it's like you only get a bag lunch for it. You don't get nothing, you don't do nothing. So it was just like being in there like, no, I can't do this. I really messed up. And just to see some of the things that goes on in the prison, you got to be on guard with this. You got to be respectful of people's space. And it's just seeing these guys. So when you go to prison, when it's your first time, you have a number, but you have a 0 in front of it. That means anybody with a 0, that means that was your first time. But as you start going down the alphabet, A, B, C, D, and the more that symbolizes how many times you went.
Really?
So you sitting around and you seeing all these old heads in there, and they just talking about, oh, I've been coming to prison since the 80s. I've been coming since the 70s, the 90s, and all this. And I'm sitting here like, that ain't nothing to like sit in here and brag about.
Right.
What are you talking? And you still
Right.
What are y'all like? That's not cool. So that's what really had me to look back. Like, nah, I need to change my life. And it's just like seeing some of the violence that goes on in the prisons, and some of it is orchestrated by officers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it really guarded me, and it really made like my anxiety now. Like, I don't like too many people around me or over me. Like, my anxiety it be on 100. So I got to get up and step out of space
Wow.
because that's what prison did to you.
Wow.
You got to be on guard at all times.
So you don't like going to like concerts and
Like,
stuff like that?
I would go, but I don't know if it's paranoia or it's just I'm on guard at all times.
Because that's how I am. I don't like big crowds.
Like, I could do it, but it's constantly like, am I enjoying myself? Because when I walk into, I'm always looking for every exit. I've got to make sure my back to the wall.
Right.
I don't like too many people behind me.
Right.
I'm not like that. And I was kind of like that before, but after prison, it really took it to 1,000 to where
It got intense.
I'm always looking around just in case something popping off. I need to know how somebody moving on this side or that side, just so I could be ahead of it. So that's what it kind of shaped me with that. So that's what that was.
I like that. Thank you for saying that, because you just taught me something new. I didn't know. I just thought everybody was like 00129.
No.
So now you saying it could be ABC 123.
It's only the whole alphabet. I'm sitting there. If one guy had a L, and I'm sitting there like, and he talking, he going, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, so when you gonna change?
Right.
Like, you come to prison, and y'all in prison, the same things you all get out here, we get in there. You get in prison.
I see that.
It just costs you a lot more. Now I'm gonna give you a crazy one. So we were down cleaning in Biscayne, and we had to do homeless cleanup. So we cleaning under the bridges, and a guy was cleaning up this homeless lady spot, and he found an eyeliner about this big, and he found a pair of G-strings. So he's like, "Ooh, I scored big." I'm like, "How you score big, homeboy?" Okay, that ain't my business. So we get to the DOT yard, and he's like, "Yeah, boy, I'm finna get it big." And I'm like, "What you talking?"
Some panties
and eyeliner. Trust me. So he go in there, he do what he do in the DOT bathroom. Don't ask me where he put it and how he got it back in.
Okay.
That ain't my business. But he got it in.
Right.
And the next day, you see a guy walking with his shirt tied up and them G-strings hanging out with eyeliner on.
Oh.
And he sold the eyeliner for $800 and the G-strings for $500 cash. This on compound. He scored big.
Wow. So stuff like that
Happens. A can of Murray's grease, you paying $35 for that. One Black and Mild, they get them on the compound, you paying $12.
Wow.
So
it's a business.
Oh no, it's a huge business. And on top of that, when we were out cleaning up, and I never forget, we was in Overtown, and we was on break, we was at the port, and I see this Dodge Charger ride by with some guys in it, and the other 4 guys I was on the crew was all from Miami. And I see this Dodge Charger ride by, 4 guys in the car, and it went up and it turned around. So I'm like, "Hey, y'all ain't got no problems with people out here, is it?" "Nah, we ain't got." So I start walking back behind the truck because I see the car turning around.
Right.
And all I hear is doop, 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 doop. I'm like, "What the heck is that?" And they got guys picked something up and came behind the truck. And I'll never forget, when they opened the bag, it was this big around and about that thick. Straight cocaine. And they told me we all gonna split. I said, "No, we ain't. No, we ain't. I ain't come to jail to go to jail.
Right.
I ain't come to prison to get no another charge. I'm trying to go home."
Oh,
Y'all have all that.
man.
Yeah. We would get thrown drugs all the time.
That's
all
crazy.
the time. You get all that. Listen, it's like you just don't have your freedom.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you did 2 years of
I did 2 years of that. Threw away 2 calendars.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So what do you think some are the most pressing mental health issues that Black men deal with? I'm going to say Black men because I know Black men. I deal with Black men. I know I'm going to have some people that ain't Black on the show this month, but for Black men, what do you think the most pressing issues
And
are?
now this gonna touch deep. It's something I've been kind of throwing out there, and it kind of get people a little squeamish. But the pressing issue, one, we got to learn to open up and not be prideful and hard all the time. That's number one.
Yep.
But some of the issues that we got to get back, and I'm gonna go to our black boys that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's kind of swept under the rug. And it's even with some of us men that hold it like a badge of honor. But we don't talk about the sexual assault and rape of our Black boys by women,
That's true.
by older women.
That's true.
Something that's, and I could tell you for myself, when I was younger, it was our babysitter had me doing stuff to her, and I'm at a young 8, 9, and I sit there and I think that shaped how I see women, how I seen sex as growing up. And it took me a lot of years to actually, once I started doing therapy and going through counseling, and like, maybe this has something to do with it. But it's us as a culture that don't really talk about that, because when we talk about the rape and sexual assault of our young girls, which rightly so need to be yelled from the mountaintop, but nobody never gets down to the sexual assault of our young boys. So now we got these young boys exposed to sex early, and not a lot of them going to talk about it. One, because a lot of us men, a lot of us black men look at that like, oh, that's my boy. Oh, you got something. So we don't talk about it. Now we got an older woman, this and that. But no, that ain't right. If you do it to an underage girl, it's considered rape. You do it to an underage boy, that is rape. Yeah. And now we sitting here, and a lot of the times if a young boy comes and tells somebody he was raped, what's the first question? What's the first thing coming to your mind? Anybody's going to think it was a man, but nobody think about that older woman that was grooming that young boy. So now he's exposed to sex. Now he see it as a way of, that's how a girl showed me they love me. So now you're constantly looking for sex. So now we got this young sexual deviant. We got the stuff our young girls go through. Now you put them in schools, and now guess what?
Hormones rushing.
You got them hormones going all crazy. Yeah. So now as you get older, it shapes, I feel it shapes how you see sex. Right. When it comes to your counterpart. And another thing, like I think a lot of these young boys, like even if it was a man that did it, the young boys not gonna mention anything because they're gonna be deemed as gay. Right. And we gotta stop that. My babysitter was 25. She was just, it was like several days in a row just having to do stuff to her and different things like that. But we really have to get that stigma out of where these young boys could actually speak up and say something, whether it's an older woman, whether it's an older man, well, no matter what it is, we got to get that stigma. It can make them feel safe to speak up.
So with that being said, how do we provide that safe space for our young boys, our young men, to be like, hey, Dad, Miss Julianne was doing some stuff to me I ain't like. So how do we provide that space for them?
First, we got to correct the father. A lot of fathers would take that and run with it. So at least I know my son isn't gay. Right. We got to get that out the way. Right. So a lot of us look at it as a badge of honor. He getting him some. Oh, I got to stop that, because a lot of times as soon as they turn 18, you want to get them a stripper. You know, we got to stop all that. But we do spaces where it's called Black Men Listening Sessions. And we created that space to actually had a space where men could come together, be vulnerable, lean on each other, talk about the pressing issues when it's dealing with us. And we used to host them at the cigar lounges or different places that young boys couldn't come. So we decided at one point, you know what? Let's rent the pavilion at Gaines Park. That way we can hold spaces, because if we're talking about helping these young boys, they need to be here with us, and we need to hear their voice. We can't just have it and then try to go help them. So that's when we did Gaines Park. We came out, we had the young men come out, and you'll be surprised when you get these kids the floor and let them talk about what they want to talk about. You'll be surprised what come out of their mouth. And that's just like even in our program when we host our bi-weekly mentorship sessions. Sometimes we'll do boys and girls together. Then we'll split them up. Girls, Yolanda take the girls, I'll take the boys. I had one with the boys one time, and I tell them, once these doors close, this is a safe space. What goes on in here stays in here. Right. But when them doors close, I'm your homeboy, Donte. I'm not Mr. Donte. Right. I'm your homeboy. We're going to get down and dirty. We're going to get to the root of a lot of things. And we had some powerful discussions sitting up in there, and I let them lead. And I asked them, what's one thing you always wanted to talk about that you can't feel you talk about? And I'm not going to say it on here what the first one came out, but it shocked me like, whoa, okay, that's where we're going? All right, let's ride. Let's ride. So it's just creating them spaces for, if you get these kids, if you sit down and listen to these kids and give them the floor, you'll learn a lot more about them. Like, we have this thing we do in our program, and it's called What Keeps You Up at Night. And a good business partner of ours introduced us to that, and we give them a piece of paper. We tell them, without putting your name on it, write on this piece of paper what keeps you up at night. And we're going to put it in a bowl. We're going to pull it out one by one. And everybody in the room is going to encourage that person, even the kids. First one we first did, the first one out the bowl was, what keeps me up at night is me remembering sending my best friend blood out. You could have committed suicide. Oh, wow. So we looking like, what? Another one, what keeps me up at night? Not knowing, hungry. Okay. One is domestic violence. One is not knowing if I'm gonna be touched.
Right.
So, and we started this the year when I had middle school and high school kids in the summer camp. So it was like, we didn't know where it come from.
Right.
And we sitting around like, whoa. And then people wonder why these kids act out the way they do. These kids are going through a lot of stuff that a lot of us didn't have to go through.
Right.
And to deal with that, it's like, it's no different. Expose a lot of the stuff that goes on at kids' household. School is an escape for a lot of these kids.
Exactly.
So they don't care what y'all talking about in school. I'm away from home.
Right.
I don't have to go through that. I don't have to hear a lot of that stuff. And you're going to eat. I mean, you're just creating a space for these kids to have, but first giving them a voice and creating that space.
And then, to piggyback on that, because, I'm an educator, but I just had an incident last week where he wasn't my student, but I knew him from the camp that I used to work at. And so he was like, Miss, can I get $1? So I was like, no, I ain't got nothing for you, boss. So then something in my spirit was like, NeNe, go back and talk to him because something about his eyes. And I was like, I know you from somewhere. I said, I don't know where, but I know you from somewhere. I said, what you need $1 for? He said, I want to get some snacks to feed my little brother. I said, go to Charlie's, the Philly cheesesteak. I said, go there. I'm going to get you something to eat, right? So then he sat down and I'm like, God, I know this little boy from somewhere. So I'm like, so how old is your little brother? He was like 10. I was like, okay. So then when I got into Charlie's, he broke down and started crying. And then he stopped. I was like, no, don't stop. Keep going. Let it out. And I was like, why are you crying? And he was like, because nobody want to help me and it's hard. He just turned 18. He was like, it's hard. I don't know how to do this. And I was like, can I hug you? And he was like, yeah. And he just, when I tell you, he fell in my chest. And I was like, stay here, eat your food. I'm going to go to Publix and get you and your brother something to eat. And so I had got him something to eat, bought him like some chicken and stuff like that. And I brought it to him. He fell. Now he done fell to the ground crying. And I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, all my life they told me that I'm not supposed to cry because boys aren't supposed to cry. And I told him, I said, I said, erase that out your mind because men have emotions. Boys have emotion. I said, it's how you channel them.
Yes.
And I said, it's okay for you to cry. I said, because you going through it, you trying to figure it out. You 18. And of course, his mom kicked him out. He smelling himself. But it was just like, he said that they said boys aren't supposed to cry. And we got to stop that for our young black boys.
Definitely.
We have to stop telling our boys, don't cry. Don't do that. You a sissy. No, let them cry. And then we got to explain to them, okay, why are you crying? How are we going to fix this? Like conflict and resolution. So like, I'm so for what you said, but I'm like, we got to stop that too.
No, definitely. And it's another thing that I always say that we grew up, and I'm pretty sure you probably heard it, is what goes on in this household stays in this household. Nah, a lot of this stuff that go in these households need to be talked about.
It need to be talked about.
There was some old crap that came out, but that need to change. A lot of this stuff, and it goes like I just said with the code. A lot of that stuff that was exposed, it should have been talked about and needs to be talked about. Why is this young man having to bear the brunt of all of that?
Yeah.
At 18.
18.
And that's why I say about us as black folk. We got to start taking accountability for our own actions, our own community, and we got to stop coddling a lot of our black folks because they're black.
Right.
We gotta jump on their neck and we gotta get down to it. We gotta have these serious discussions.
Yes.
Ones that hurt. We don't like to hurt our family members, but we gotta get into it. People gotta hurt.
Somebody gotta do it. Johnny L gotta hear it. He gotta hear it. Okay, so we talked about building stronger support systems. So how do you prioritize self-care in your daily life?
Lately, it hasn't been happening because I've just been too busy.
Because of summer camp?
Yeah, because of summer camp and the different things that we've been having going on, and then it's actually working. So it really been hard. We haven't had a vacation this year, really time, because it's like everything, trying to build a nonprofit and it's trying to be in certain spaces to get exposure and different things like that. It's like every time it's always something. Every weekend is always something. And it's like, when are we going? So Yolanda and I was like, one summer camp in, don't plan nothing. But what I like to do, fishing is like fishing is like yoga to me.
Okay.
I get on the fish creek. I don't have to catch nothing. I don't have to do nothing. It's just the sound of nature, the water, and it's just being out there. That's my safe space.
Right.
To actually gather my thoughts and just be at peace. That's where I'm at peace. On the Fish Creek, I'm good. I'm good with that. So that's myself. That's
So-
really my self-care.
So you'll be on the Fish Creek and won't catch nothing.
I'm good.
I like
I'm
that.
good. I got the cooler next to me. I got the cigar right here with me. I'm good. Long as, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to catch something. I need to bring home them groceries now. But it's just so peaceful out there.
Right.
It's like the world just slows down. Anything behind me, anything that's going on in life, it seems like it just goes away. And I'm in my own mind. And that's the only time I can really slow my brain down.
Yeah. I feel the same. Like for me, I like to rollerblade. A lot of people don't know that.
Rollerblade. I can't skate to save my life.
I love to rollerblade, and so I go to like a nature park, no phone. Well, I have my music playing, but I'll be out there for like 6 hours, done skated probably like 10 miles, and I have my chair and I just sit and listen to the birds watch the water, just the soothingness of the water. I love that. So I get it. But fishing, I probably fished one time. I was in Bahamas and I caught a pompano or something.
Good eating right there. And then good fight.
Yeah. Because listen, I didn't know when I was fishing, I had on my my sandals and I didn't know how to dress for the fishing. I was just like, I'm just going to be cute on the boat. I didn't think I was going to catch nothing. So I'm catching something. I was like, oh, Lord, I think I got a shark. The Bahamian fisherman, I got it, took it off the net. I was like, oh, I done did something.
That's good.
So I don't mind it. So to do it, bait it, put the hook in it, put the worm on there, the shrimp. No, you got
to get over that. No. See, them the type of people I don't like going fishing with.
Listen,
cause I can't enjoy myself. I got to take the fish off, bait it, do all that.
Yeah.
You got to do something one time. You got to learn that.
Okay.
I challenge you to learn. I give you 2 years.
Okay, give me 3.
3?
Give me 3.
3, I got you.
Give me 3.
3 years. You got to learn how to bait your own stuff and take the fish off.
It's off the hook.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
3 years.
3.
All right, got you.
For real.
All right. I got you. I want to see it. I want that picture. That picture you hook, you putting the bait on and you taking the fish out.
All right.
Got it.
We're going to do that.
All right, deal. Y'all hearing it on live right now.
All right. So can you share a personal story about overcoming mental health challenges and how it has impacted your life?
I would just say recognizing that I had issues of some things that I need to deal with that I was dealing with growing up. Once you recognize that and you start, like a lot of people could sit around and think and like, why is this going on? Why is this going on? So once I sat down and really start thinking about maybe this happened because of this, or maybe this happened because of that. And you start piecing together a lot of things, and my brain is always rolling. So when you start putting 2 to 2 together, and then I start seeing a therapist, I start seeing a counselor or whatnot, and they start connecting the dots, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. So that's when I really start thinking about this mental health, and you just go to think about the stuff that goes on in your family and the stuff you deal with at work, the stuff you deal with in relationships and different things like that. And it's like a lot of this is all tied back to mental health. And so once I really got deep into therapy, that's when that's what really changed it for me.
Really?
And I think a lot of people, we didn't have, back in the day, that was considered soft.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, really crazy. But we done made a huge turn on mental health, and people are actually talking about it, which I think is great. But, and like I was telling the kids the other day, like, y'all sitting here opening up and sharing y'all feelings, y'all in a space right now that we didn't have. A lot of, especially with our men, we want to hold so much in. And I'm going to go back to when you were speaking about the young man was crying. So Sunday, after we finished first phase of the camp, which was the overnight leadership retreat at Kaiser University, where the kids stayed in the dorms. They got to maneuver college life, which was great. So we had a little ceremony for them on that Sunday morning. One of the young ladies that been through our program for the last few years was a shell of herself, didn't like to talk, was real down, like she wouldn't, if she say something, she always had a hair in her face. And now when you see her get up there, I want to talk Mr. Bates, which she is the 2 years running now. She's the president of our organization, the student president.
Nice.
So her confidence level is gone. So she got up and she went to talking about how she was a shell of herself and dealing with Mr. and Mrs. Bates, how she came out and she's able to talk and this and that. And I'm sitting over there like, I ain't finna do it. I'm doing it.
You cried?
So I cried. So I'm sitting over there like, I was trying to hold it, but I'm like, so when she did that, I wiped it up real quick. And as I got ready to talk, I started crying again. I'm like, nah, but it was my way just to hear the impact that we're having on the kids and just to actually hear them say it. So I'm like, oh. So when we did the phase 2 of camp starting on Monday, at Palm Beach State College, two of the young girls, and they're like, "Oh, Mr. Bates, you're a crybaby." I'm like, "I ain't no crybaby." People was pouring pepper in the room. They ain't no, I wasn't crying. But then I was like, but they was like, "No, you good." I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." I mean, it's good for young men to cry.
Yeah.
If you could cry, let it out.
And that's
And we have
good.
to
You let
stop
them
that.
see that.
Oh no, that was the good thing because it caught me, but they seen it and they respect it, and we gotta let them know that, hey, let that out.
It's okay.
It feel good when you let it out.
It does.
Yeah.
Because after the young man cried, he was just like a sigh of relief. And I was like, listen, every week I need you to check in with me to let me know that you good. Just say, Miss NeNe, I'm good. I'm all right. So, and that's all I needed to know. And then after I had left him, I realized where I knew him from. I was like, oh, okay. He was one of my old students. I said, okay, God, I see what you're doing. You're doing a big one.
He put him right there for, that's the purpose. That was on purpose.
Yeah. And I was like, out of all the times that I come here, nobody ever say nothing to me. And then it just so happens to be the first day of Men's Mental Health Day. I was like, God, what you doing? What is you doing?
Doing what he do best.
Yeah.
All the right things.
And he did.
Yep.
So now let's get into some rapid fire questions. These are the fun questions, right? So we at karaoke. What song are we doing?
Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey.
Okay. I'm here for
That's what I had karaoke at the overnight stay, and we did karaoke.
Really?
And they wanted me, Mr. Bates, you get up there and sing. And I did Tennessee Whiskey. And they, of course they called me old because of the song. So but I sung that. I sung
like
it.
that
I
song.
love Chris Stapleton, the man.
Listen.
So Tennessee Whiskey was the one. That's what we're gonna sing.
Okay, I know that song. Your favorite way to relax after a long day?
The cigar shop. I have a cigar and just bond with other successful men, just sit around and just have that bond and that camaraderie with other brothers is something that I get off and I stop by there and I could just decompress and just laughter and fun. That's it.
What's your favorite cigar?
The Opus X 77 Shark.
That sounds so hard.
One of the best. That Opus, that 77 Shark is.
Where do you get that at?
Right at the cigar line.
At the cigar? Really?
Yeah.
Send me the name of that because it's Father's Day coming up. I got to get my daddy something.
Oh, okay. I got you. I got you. I'll make sure I send it to you.
Favorite whiskey? Don't say Tennessee Whiskey.
No, not done Tennessee Whiskey. Uncle Nearest.
There
Uncle
you go,
Nearest
black
right.
on.
Hey, black on. I just want to say it. Y'all go check Uncle Nearest out and y'all read up on Uncle Nearest now. I need everybody out there read up on Uncle Nearest.
Yes, because Jack Daniels stole the recipe.
And the lady, the black woman that has it now, they actually have a distillery. I think is it in Carolina or Tennessee, where you can go there and just how you do like a wine, you go wine tasting.
Really?
You go there and do that.
Really?
You can go see it. So if you out there, look up Uncle Nearest and go check. I think I'm a plan to go and check it out.
Okay, once you do that, let me know.
I got you.
And I'm going to be like, Dad, we got to take a road trip.
Yeah, no, for real.
Okay. The best advice you ever received?
The best advice I've received would be don't try to prove people wrong. Prove yourself right.
Say that again.
Don't try to prove people wrong. Prove yourself right. Stop worrying about the naysayers.
Right.
Prove yourself right. You know you got it in you, go do it.
Right.
And lead them over there. Stop. We waste too much time worrying about the people we trying to prove something to. That's too much energy that we don't need to put into that. Oh yeah. That was one of the best things. And when I had to ask, I really do it. Explain that to me. And like I heard it, but explain it more to me. And when I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, I get that. So I'm at this point, I'm proving myself right. And that's why everything I do now, even in nonprofit, when you're dealing with these different events and you're trying to put on these different things, I don't worry about it. I'm going to go. You're going to tell me no, but somebody going to tell me yeah.
Come on now.
It's going to happen. If I have a vision for it, it's going to happen regardless. It's going to come to fruition somewhere or another, but we're going to roll. But that's the best advice I've got.
When you were in prison, this is not a rapid fire question. So when you were in prison, did you ever visualize this moment right now, you being impactful in the community?
No, I've never. Nonprofit was nowhere near my thinking and my psyche. It wasn't. Since I've been home, I've talked to young men and young women just out in the street. I'm in different spaces I done been in, but actually making it official and nonprofit, no. Because I always looked at the nonprofits it back then as people really trying to do the work for the right reasons, or is it just a job?
Right.
And I always looked at it until I got into the space, and then I started seeing like, okay, people make an impact out here. This is what they do, whether it's whether that's what they do for a living or whatnot. But people out here doing it. So now when you're in the space and you actually see it, okay, now my mindset has shifted when it came to nonprofit. In that sense. So no, that was never even I don't even know what a nonprofit was, because I know Take Stock in Children is a nonprofit. And in 9th grade, I ended up winning a scholarship from Take Stock in Children.
Really?
And I wanted to be a radiologist. Once I graduated, I started going to Palm Beach State College to work on them things. But it was like, when I'm calling home on break, my homeboys, man, we out here chilling. This now, man, I'm in school. I'm like, I'm missing something. But then when I leave school and I go, it's like, I ain't doing nothing but sitting around smoking weed and chasing girls. I left school. Now I got to go to school the next day, and being me, not mature enough, next day the same thing. And to the point I stopped school, and I look back on it now like, and it's one thing that I regret. When I graduated high school and we walked across the state and we came off, my mom walked up to me and snatched my diploma. She was like, "Thank you. I'm proud of you. It's mine." So I'm like, "You just gonna tell I did all the work?" But I'm like, "All right, okay, you had the back end stuff, the back office stuff. Okay, I got it. That's yours." And my grandmother came up behind her and hugged me like, "I'm proud of you." And she was like, "The next one is mine." And I haven't gotten my grandmother that college degree yet. That's one of my biggest regrets. And it's like, wow. And I think about it, I was the first of my grandmother's grandkids to graduate high school, and actually the first one to go to prison. So it's just like, and I think about that all the time. And I thought about when I came back home from prison, like, I need to go back to college and get this degree for my grandmother. I need to get this for her. But it was just like, now I'm home, I have to work. Like, cause people weren't giving you, with that record, people weren't giving you jobs like that. So it was just like, I ain't giving up no job to try to go to no school. I'm not, I'm going to focus on this here. So now it's just like, now I got a bunch of kids I'm trying to push through to go to college, get degrees. That's going to be for my grandmother. But that's one of my biggest regrets I have throughout my life.
Okay. What's your go-to song to boost your mood? You can't say Tennessee Whiskey.
That's my sitting under the tree in the country with my old uncle. That's I'm chilling right there. That's where the whiskey come in at.
Okay.
But my go-to song right now to get me hyped, if we gonna Pastor Troy for my hustlers.
Okay.
I play that song and it's up from there now. I feel young again then.
Hidden talent or a hobby?
I don't have a talent because I can't dance worth the lick. I can't dance at all.
You can't dance?
Heck no. No, I can't. The best thing I could probably do, I couldn't even do the Tootsie Roll right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm bad. I'm bad. The best thing I could probably do is probably the worm, but I can't dance. A hobby? What's a hidden talent or a hobby?
Would you say fishing is a hobby?
Fishing would be my hobby. Okay. I don't have anything outside of that, no.
What about like handyman skills or something? Oh, you ain't?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not the handy one. I try to do something, but I ain't that handy now. When it get too rough, hey, that's why I work. Hey, come on, partner, I pay you to fix it. But no hobbies. Fishing. I love football, love basketball.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's about it. Definitely no talent. Oh, well, nah. I ain't gonna even get on this. I'm not gonna even get on this mic and lie to you.
You honest. So what is one thing you want the people to take away from this conversation today? Take
men's mental health serious, whether you are the man or whether you the woman, anybody else. Take it serious. Mm-hmm. And to the men out here, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. We want to sit back and we don't hold stuff in. And also, I just say for our women, and this is why if you sit around and you really talk to a lot of men, a lot of times why men don't open up is for the fear of it being thrown back in their face when you get mad. So a lot of men have been burnt by that to where I done got vulnerable with you and let this go. And now we get in an argument or somewhere and you sitting out and now, boom, here you go. Let me tell you something to my ladies. Men, he's not coming back to you. And you're going to wonder why he's so hard all the time and he don't talk to you when you really want it. You done burnt that bridge. And so I just really want everybody to take mental health serious, which we have seen a turn in that, and talk to our young boys. Really try to understand why they're out here doing the stuff they're doing. Get into the home life. And understand that we can't be, and this one thing I like about our organization and what we do is when we having these mentor sessions with the youth every 2 to 3 months, what we do, we tell the parents, Leave them knuckleheads home and y'all come on. We got a night for y'all. We have a game, we call it game night.
Okay.
So we come in, we talk about parenting through social media, talk about financial literacy with them. And we have these different things. So we want these kids to see your parents are invested just like we're invested in you. And while we're working over here, trying to get you right, and we send you back into dysfunction, now we got to try to do it all over again tomorrow because you don't revert it back to your same way. So we big on family and trying to reestablish this community, this village that everybody talks about. So we got to get these parents to come in and be more involved. And so I just say, everybody sit down and talk to these kids, and parents, let these kids sit down. Just give your kid 10 free minutes a week, a day, however you want to do it, to say whatever come out your mouth of what you want to say, no judgment. And let a lot of parents gonna be hurt, and they're gonna be shocked with what come out these kids' mouth. But we got to get them that space and open up to you. Right. A lot of our kids are missing love. Like that boy, he hugged. Imagine how many kids you just give a hug and they could just make their day. Shoot, even adults. Yeah. So I just want everybody to take mental health serious, take men's mental health serious, just mental health as a whole, especially in our Black community. That stigma of that's weak and we don't talk about it. Nah, them days are behind us and it's dead. Let's get to the real issue in our community. That's what I take away from it.
Okay. Any upcoming events?
Right now, no. We have our 6-week skill trades, which is phase 2 of our program, the 6-week skill trades. The skill trades and career exploration summer camp going on at Palm Beach State College. And we're going to finish that. And like I say, we're going to take a little break. But stay tuned we're going to have our second annual Stop Throwing Rocks at the Chain Gang Summit, Youth Summit in April. Okay. So that will be coming back. Other than that, no, we're not. Right now, I'm just going to wait until the camp over with, take some time, recalibrate, and then we'll go from there. So just stay tuned. Some things we may get with some, but right now, we just want to have a time so we don't burn out. Right. And get ourselves together, and then we're going to go from there. Okay. All right. Thank you. So thank you, Mr. Donte Bates. It's been a pleasure having you on NeNe's Damn Podcast. And tell the people where they can find you at. You can find us at www.lovehopehealing.org. Or you can find us on Instagram at Love Hope Healing, at Love Hope Healing Inc. That's where most of our content, you can see the day-to-day on the Instagram. But just check us out on the website, www.lovehopehealing.org, or at Instagram at Love Hope Healing Inc. And you'll find out everything going on with us. And ladies and gentlemen, it has been real here on NeNe's Damn Podcast. I am your host, NeNe Gemini, the host with the most and a smile you can't forget. Listen, check on your men, strong Black men, and happy Father's Day. Thank you. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the men, baby daddies, non-baby daddies, step daddies, bonus daddies, all the daddies, sugar daddies. And thank you for coming on. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and follow Love, Hope, and Healing. And if y'all got kids, send them to y'all camp. Not now. Next year. Y'all do spring break camp or no? No spring break camp. But let them know we got our mentorship session. We got youth development programs that we do. So get in contact and let's get these kids rolling. Yeah, year round. And they also have the men's session. Black Man Listening session. Black Man Listening. So make sure y'all follow, like, and subscribe. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in on NeNe's Damn Podcast. I am NeNe Gemini, the host with the most. Shout out to the Digital Vibes van. Oh, yeah, most definitely. This was my first time using their equipment and recording my podcast. Shout out to Mr. Will. Shout out to Coach Caleb behind the screens, the best cameraman ever. He's solid. So thank y'all. Everybody be blessed, be great, be amazing, and Carpe Diem. Happy Pride Month, happy Father's Day, and happy Juneteenth. And listen, next week on the 19th, if y'all not doing anything, and if you are doing something, you can still donate. Come out to the XD event hall. We'll be having a coffee and cream event. I'll be hosting the brown carpet, seeing what y'all got on. Y'all fits. All melanated is the theme. So your browns, your creams, your tans, that's the apparel for coffee and cream. We're also doing $1,000 small business grant
So make sure y'all tune in. Come on out. You gotta register to get the small business grant. $1,000 by 1-800-CALL-LEE. It's sponsored by another black whiskey, Edmund's Honor. So they're gonna be doing, that's a new one. So they're gonna be doing an activation out there. So make sure you pull up.
Edmund Honors.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you their page.
Okay.
So, but they're supposed to be good. I don't drink whiskey, but I just support the black-owned whiskey. Also, Tito's is gonna be sponsored. The Palm Beaches. Make sure y'all come out. Also, I'm hosting Delray Pride this Saturday in Delray Beach at Old School Square. So, if you part of the LGBTQ plus community, come on out, celebrate. I'll be out there hosting. I am not a part of it. That's my disclaimer. I have to let y'all know. I'm not a part of the community. I just celebrate it and support, and I'm an affiliate. So it's been real, y'all. Thank you so much. Be blessed, be great, and we out.
Appreciate it.